This is a story my senior told me. One that might just keep you from sleeping soundly in an unfamiliar room. This is Ton's story, about 9 years ago, back in 2016. Ton was 23, just started his first job, but then his employer went bust. He was totally broke, didn't know what to do. After a couple of months of job hunting, a friend called him up. "Got you an interview in Bangkok, come on down." Ton was thrilled. He packed his bags, got to Bangkok around 9 or 10 a.m. Met his friend Non at the company. It was a small company, and he got the job on the spot. Next up, find a place to stay. Ton had a grand total of $150. It was all he had in the world. He'd never been to Bangkok before, had no idea about anything. He searched online, but everything was too expensive, $300 for rent and deposit. Non suggested a cheap workers' dorm nearby. Not great, but it was $270 deposit. Ton didn't even have that, so he asked Non to negotiate. "Can I pay $120 first, and the rest when I get my first paycheck?" Non gave him directions and a phone number. Ton was confused why Non wouldn't go with him. Non just said, "It's getting late, almost 6 p.m. Gotta pick up my wife," and zoomed off on his motorbike. Ton was a bit bewildered but went to the rental place. He met the landlady, Jay, who asked, "Just you?" She told him to go up and look at the rooms, adding that floors 1 to 4 were full, so he'd have to go to the 5th floor. "Pick any room you like and come tell me," she said. Ton was happy. The deposit was lower. There were lots of tenants. It wouldn't be lonely. Seemed like a fun place. On the 5th floor, he picked a room. He liked noisy places, playing games, drinking. So he wanted a room as far from others as possible. He ended up with the one right next to the stairs and the elevator. Anyone who's heard a lot of ghost stories in Thailand would know you don't pick a room like that. But Ton didn't think twice. He just figured if he was loud, he wouldn't bother anyone. He liked a room, came down, and Jay gave him a key card. Pretty high tech. What was odd was that she didn't come up with him to the room. Ton didn't dwell on it. He went back up to the 5th floor, scanned the card, and opened the door. He hadn't really looked inside before. Facing the door was a window with a curtain. To his right was the bed, and the bathroom was at the end of the bed. Behind it was a small balcony, just big enough for the AC compressor not to stand on. Ton put his things away and went to sleep. It was dark and he was tired. He slept soundly. Nothing happened. The aircon was nice. It was a good place. After about a week, Ton noticed something strange. Is anyone else even on this 5th floor? He wondered. He realized he never saw anyone else come up to the 5th floor. Not on the lift, not on the stairs. Most people stopped at the 3rd or 4th floor. Into the 2nd week, Ton was working really hard. His boss gave him more and more to do. One evening, he came back to his room, exhausted. He felt like the whole place was unusually quiet. No sounds from the neighboring rooms. It was eerily still. In the days before, he'd sometimes hear people talking as they walked past his door. But tonight, nothing. He was so tired he just drifted back to sleep after turning off the lights. The room was dim, with only a sliver of light coming through the curtain from outside. As he was sleeping, he felt something strange, like the bed was moving, a creaking sound, as if someone was gently shifting it. He was half awake, but didn't make anything of it. He tried to tell himself it was just exhaustion. He closed his eyes and drifted off. Then the bed shook again, this time like someone was actively rocking it. It was a wooden bed, so the creaks were loud. Ton didn't know what to do. He tried lying still, holding his breath, and the bed stopped. He managed to fall back asleep. He woke up, went to work, and chatted with the friend who'd recommended the place. Man, last night was weird. My body felt stiff. My legs were shaking, like someone was rocking the bed. Must be too tired. I need to tell my boss to lighten my workload. He noticed his friend's expression changed subtly when he mentioned the shaking bed. That evening, he returned to his room, passing the counter where Jay was sitting. She greeted him. "How's it been? A week in? Anything you need?" Ton smiled. "No, Jay, it's great. Sleeping well. But, maybe the bed's a bit old. It creaks when I sleep. But it's fine, I can sleep." Jay just smiled and didn't reply. Ton waited for the lift, and a couple joined him. They all got in. Ton pressed the 5th floor, then turned to ask them which floor they needed. They said 4th. He pressed it. He noticed they were looking at him strangely, as if to say, "You're staying on the 5th floor?" Ton didn't think anything of it. He entered his room and drifted off around 10 p.m. Suddenly, he jolted awake. His legs felt stiff again. He lay there, and it felt like someone's hand was squeezing, touching his calf and shin. He was so tired, he just drifted back to sleep. Then it happened again. Hands touching, massaging his legs. This time the bed shook and creaked again. What is this? Tom thought. He slowly fumbled for his phone, found it, and turned on the flashlight, pointing it at his feet. Nothing. It was empty. Tom remembered he needed to put something under the bed legs to stop the shaking, thinking he was just tossing and turning. He shone the flashlight under the bed. He then saw it was a thick, solid wooden bed frame, completely enclosed underneath. There was no space under it. He had never noticed this before, never really paid attention to the bed. How could it shake? He wondered. It shouldn't be able to move. He fell asleep again. He woke up and told his friend at work. His friend just said, "You're overthinking it. You're working too hard, your legs are probably just tired and shaking." Ton insisted he wasn't overthinking. "All right. How about this? You come sleep with me tonight?" His friend refused. That evening, Ton complained to Jay. "It's too quiet on the 5th floor. In the beginning, there were some sounds, people talking, walking past my room, but now it's totally silent, it's creepy." He asked Jay, "How many people are on the 5th floor now?" Jay said, "Oh, about 3 or 4 rooms." "Why?" Ton said, "But it feels like no one's there." Jay replied, "Maybe they work at night." Ton didn't think much of it. Back in his room that night, Ton was determined to figure out what was happening. It was raining lightly. A cool, comfortable night. He left the window open, but kept the curtain closed. As he lay awake, the curtain gently swayed with the breeze. But as the night deepened, he felt the curtain flapping harder and harder, even though the rain outside wasn't getting stronger. He didn't think much of it at the time. A little while later, the curtain flapped so violently, the metal rod clanged. Ton then felt something was off. The curtain was flapping in a strange way he couldn't describe. He said it felt like sometimes someone was grabbing the bottom edge of the curtain and shaking it hard, something like that. But he wasn't sure. At this point, Ton said he was starting to get scared. This was too strange, but he was still brave. He got up to close the window and clearly saw the rain was very light and the wind was gentle. He just thought, okay. After playing games, it was around 11:30 p.m. Ton turned off the lights and lay down. The room was dim, with only a little light filtering through the curtain. He felt like he was just dozing, not fully asleep, when he felt hands shaking his legs again. Still half asleep, he shifted to his side to get away. This time, the bed rocked again. Creak, creak, creak. Ton's eyes flew open. He remembered he needed to prove what was happening. He quickly shot up and shone his flashlight at his feet. But again, nothing. It was empty. But at that very moment, out of the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse near the window where the curtain was closed. He saw a human shape hiding behind the curtain. The curtain was bulging into the silhouette of a person, but it looked small, like a woman. A shiver ran down Ton's spine. He quickly shone the flashlight there, and suddenly the figure vanished. But what really made Ton's hair stand on end was that the curtain whipped whoosh, like someone had just run past. Ton immediately got out of bed and turned on all the lights. What the hell? This time, Ton was sure he had encountered something. He turned all the lights on in the room. Now, even though he was scared, Ton couldn't do anything. If he moved out, he'd lose his deposit, which was several $100s, and he didn't have much money. So Ton gathered his courage, put his hands together in a prayer gesture. I'm here in peace, just staying here for work, and I don't have enough money to move out. If you're going to stay here, please let's live together peacefully. Don't play tricks or scare me like this. And please bring me some luck. I'll make merit for you. After he said that, he felt a little relieved. Outside, the rain hadn't stopped. Ton decided to leave the lights on and kept playing games and watching TV, even though he was still scared deep down. He didn't even know when he fell asleep. Ton remembered clearly that when he finally drifted off, he dreamt someone knocked on his room door. When he opened it, there was a woman standing there. She didn't speak, but she pointed to the room number on the door. In the dream, he was still confused and didn't say anything. Then he woke up and saw it was morning, and he had to rush to work. When he met his friend, he told him what happened. His friend still said he was imagining things. No one believed him. Around noon, he remembered the dream. He decided to buy a lottery ticket with his room number. That evening, he actually won the lottery, about $600 or so. It's real, he thought. Ton rushed back that evening, but before getting into the lift, he saw Jay, the landlady. He asked her for one stick of incense. Jay didn't ask anything, just gave it to him. Usually, she'd ask what it was for, but it was like she already knew, like it happened often. Ton hurried up to his room, arranged some food and rice on the small new table he had bought, then lit the incense stick, put his hands together in prayer. Thank you for bringing me luck. Here's some food, making merit for you. Please let's continue to live well together like this. No more tricks or scares. After that day, his legs were never shaken again, and he started winning the lottery often. After about 2 or 3 months, Ton had to move for a new job. On his last day, as he packed his things, a question still lingered in his mind. What really happened to that woman? He had to know before he left. He went downstairs determined to ask, but Jay wasn't there. Luckily, he saw the cleaning lady. Ton quietly whispered to her, "Hey, Auntie, I'm leaving now. I won't tell anyone. I'm asking you seriously. How many rooms are occupied on the 5th floor? Why did it feel so quiet?" The cleaning lady's face showed hesitation. "Please tell me, Auntie. I really want to know." "Well, there's just your room. The 5th floor has been empty for almost a year now, I think." Ton was shocked. What about all the times he heard people talking, saw shadows walking past his room? And one more thing, Auntie, seriously, in my room, did a woman die there? The cleaning lady's face drained of color. She was silent for a moment. I wasn't here then, but I heard that about 4 or 5 years ago, a construction worker, a woman, was staying there. Back then, the 5th floor rooms were all full. Then one night, that female worker came back to sleep, but in the morning she didn't come out for work. After 2 or 3 days, a bad smell started coming out. That's when they found out she had died. No one knows why. It was kept quiet, and then all the people on the 5th floor started moving out. Tan heard it all and finally understood. The lingering question in his mind was answered, but he still had one more question. He really wanted to know if the friend who recommended the room knew about it. When he met him that evening, he asked directly, "Hey, I'm asking you seriously, Non. Did you know that there was a dead person in my room? And a ghost?" Ton asked bluntly. Non hesitated. "Yeah, I knew. But I didn't think you'd end up in that room. You were in trouble, and apartments are so expensive. How was I supposed to know floors 1 to 4 were all full? When I found out you got that room, I didn't dare say anything. I was afraid you'd be scared." "You jerk!" Ton cursed, then added, "You know what? I bet there was more than one ghost too, because I kept hearing noises from other rooms on the 5th floor." He laughed, but there was a nervous edge to it. "And that," he said, "is a true story Ton told me. So next time, before you stay anywhere long term, do your research. Otherwise, you might experience something as strange as Ton did."